There is one habit that can completely change your day. Its name is taking control of your own mind before the world does it for you. Because the first battle of your day never happens at work, in traffic, or inside your home. It happens in your mind. And the person who wins that battle usually wins almost every other one that follows. So before we begin, I want you to write this in the comments. Today, I am in charge of my mind. Don't write it for me. Write it for yourself. Write it as a quiet commitment that, starting today, you will not let laziness, anxiety, notifications, or problems decide how your life will unfold. Now pay close attention. Two people can wake up on the same morning, face the same challenges, the same pressures, and the same difficulties. But while one of them spends the entire day simply reacting to whatever happens, the other chooses how to think, act, and respond before the problems even appear. What separates those two people? It is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not money. It is not even their circumstances. It is who takes control first. Because your day will always answer to someone. Either it answers to your decisions, or it answers to your emotions. While one person wastes energy complaining, the other builds clarity and stays focused. We live in a time when almost everyone wakes up by handing their mind over to the world. Before they even get out of bed, they are already checking messages, news, problems, opinions, and demands, and without realizing it, they spend the rest of the day trying to regain the control they gave away in those first few minutes of the morning. The Stoic philosophers understood a truth that has been changing lives for more than 2,000 years. Whoever governs their own mind never becomes a slave to their circumstances. That is why the next few minutes are not just motivation to help you start your day well. They are training so you can learn to take control of the only thing that truly determines your future, the way you choose to live each morning. Because when you master the first hour of your day, little by little, you begin to master your life. Practice 1. Master your mind, and you will master your day. There is a kind of morning that changes everything. You open your eyes, and you feel like the day belongs to you. Not because the world has changed, but because something inside you has awakened and taken command. Have you ever felt that? That sense of clarity that makes you get out of bed knowing exactly where to step. No inner battle, no mental noise, no hesitation. You simply act. And the day bends to the certainty within you. Now think about the opposite. When you wake up feeling lost, everything takes control of you. Every message speaks louder than your own voice. Every small problem becomes enormous. Every opinion carries more weight than your own will. Understand this once and for all. It is not the world that is out of control. It is you who gave up control without even realizing it. And here is the truth that hurts and sets you free at the same time. Until you master your own mind, you will never truly lead your own life. The Stoics discovered this more than 2,000 years ago, and the truth is still standing today, waiting for you. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world during his time, wrote to himself, "The quality of your thoughts gives color to your life." Think about that. If your thoughts are chaotic, rushed, and filled with fear, that is the color that will paint every hour of your day. And worse still, over time, that chaos spills over. It infects your decisions, your relationships, your entire future. Everyone wants to change. They want focus. They want peace. They want to overcome anxiety. But they wake up and hand the first word of the day over to the outside world. The notification, the comparison, the guilt, the voice that keeps criticizing them. Then they wonder why nothing ever changes. It won't change. It is like trying to build something great on ground that never stops shaking. You have to begin from within. That is where your power lives. That is where your courage and your fears are born, your victories and your moments of giving up. If you do not govern what happens inside you, You will spend your life being carried away by what happens outside you. And you were not born to be carried away. So listen carefully, because this is worth more than any temporary burst of motivation. Begin your day with yourself. Before you touch your phone, before you let the world in, close your eyes and ask yourself, what truly matters today? What is stealing my peace? Is this within my control? That pause may seem small, but it is in that moment that you take hold of the helm again. And there is an even more powerful tool. Write. Grab a notebook, a pen, the notes app on your phone, whatever you have. Get whatever is consuming you out of your head. It does not have to be beautiful. It has to be honest. Because as long as a thought exists only inside your mind, it feels absolute, unbeatable, like a monster. Once it is on paper, it shrinks. It becomes an argument. And an argument can be reorganized, questioned, and torn apart. Many times what looked like a monster was nothing more than a shadow you made bigger than it really was. Marcus Aurelius did this every single day. The words he wrote to himself survived empires, crossed centuries, and eventually reached you. Do you know why? Because he had the courage to look inward before facing the world. Have that same courage. Writing creates distance, and from a distance, you see with clarity. When you write down your priorities, the day stops feeling like a flood of interruptions and becomes a series of choices that belong to you. When you write down what is haunting you, you take away its power. When you write down what you want to build, you ignite your focus. And that is when everything changes. You procrastinate less. You react less impulsively. You waste less energy on pointless arguments. You feel less exhausted because an organized mind does not spend all its strength trying to hold on to 1,000 things at once. Keep your notes. Even if no one else ever reads them, you will. And learning to see yourself clearly is already the beginning of transformation. Because this is what happens. An organized mind builds a steady day. A steady day leads to wiser decisions. Wiser decisions produce lasting results, and lasting results repeated over time become something no one can ever take away from you. Confidence. Not the cheap confidence that depends on motivation. Real confidence, the kind that is built through clarity day after day. The order you keep searching for in the outside world begins inside your own mind. The peace you keep begging for begins in your own thoughts. You do not have to turn your entire life upside down today. You only have to master the next few hours. Take command of yourself before the world does it for you. Stop reacting and start deciding. It is simple, but almost no one does it. And that is exactly why the people who do move ahead. If this lesson awakened something inside you, write this in the comments. My change begins in my mind. Not as a beautiful quote, as a decision that has been made, because whoever masters the mind masters the day. And whoever masters the day begins to master their own life. Today you do not need to conquer the world. You only need to keep your hands on the helm for the next few hours, and that always begins within you. Practice 2. Focus on what is within your control. Stop for a moment and answer honestly. How much of your day do you waste trying to control what was never yours to control? Really think about it. How much time do you spend replaying something someone said, wondering what other people think about you, rewriting a past that will never come back, fearing a future that may never even happen? If you put all of that into a spreadsheet, the number would shock you. Hours and hours of your life slipping away into places where you have absolutely no power. Emotions you hand over for free to situations that are already gone. Entire decisions made based on things that are completely outside your reach. And this is where a truth from more than 2,000 years ago needs to shake you awake. Epictetus was born into slavery. He was tortured, had his leg broken by a cruel master, lived without possessions, without freedom, with almost no control over the circumstances of his own life. and yet he became one of the freest men who ever lived. How? Because he discovered the only distinction that truly matters. He said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." Every bit of peace, every ounce of strength, every form of human freedom begins with knowing the difference. Think about how powerful that is. A man in chains found more inner freedom than most people living freely today, not because the world was kind to him, but because he stopped wasting his strength on what he couldn't control and poured it all into what he could, his own response. This isn't some distant philosophical idea. It's the mathematics of everyday life. If you spend your energy where you have no control, what's left for the places where you actually do? Every ounce of strength wasted on the past, on other people's opinions, on an uncertain future, is strength you no longer have to build your life today. And that's why so many people lose the day before it has even begun. They start their morning trying to control the uncontrollable, then spend the rest of the day trying to recover from a battle they never should have fought in the first place. So remember this: you don't control what people think about you, but you do control what you do over the next 2 hours. You don't control the past, but you do control the lesson you choose to apply today. You don't control the future, but you do control the preparation you choose to make right now. There is always something within your control. The problem is that most of the time you're looking in the wrong direction. And do you know why? Because taking responsibility for what is yours requires courage. It's much easier to blame your circumstances than to face your own attitude. Maybe you've been waiting years to be recognized at work. You can't control whether people appreciate you, but you can control how much you grow, how you choose to show up, and the standards you refuse to lower in your own career. Maybe there's disrespect in your home that's been disguised as normal, words that wound, consideration that slowly disappeared. You can't control someone else's maturity, but you can control the boundaries you set, what you refuse to tolerate, and the way you carry yourself. Maybe your children have become difficult, and you feel like you've lost your authority. But you still control the example you set, the tone of your voice, and the consistency you bring every single day. Do you see the pattern? In none of these situations do you control someone else, but in every one of them, you control your response. And every time you hand that control over, every time you give someone else's behavior the wheel, you weaken your own authority over your day. The world will remain unpredictable. People will continue to disappoint you. Circumstances will keep slipping beyond your control. None of that is going to change, but the way you respond to all of it, that is entirely yours. And that is what determines the quality of your next few hours. Because the moment you focus on what is within your control, something changes immediately. Anxiety loosens its grip. Your mind becomes clear. Your actions become focused. You stop trying to change the wind and you start adjusting your sails. And that's what changes everything. Strong people don't waste time fighting the storm. They learn to master their own ship in the middle of it. Want the most relatable example of all? Someone criticizes you unfairly. You can't control what comes out of someone else's mouth. But you can control whether you spend the next 40 minutes replaying those words in your head or use those same 40 minutes doing what truly needs to be done. One path makes you smaller, the other makes you stronger. And that choice belongs to you alone. This is what it means to master your day. Wisdom isn't about winning every situation. It's about not losing yourself inside one. As long as you keep focusing on what's outside your control, you'll continue to feel small, powerless, and adrift. But the moment you decide to take care of the only thing that is completely your responsibility, the choices you make over the next few hours, the entire game changes. And on the other side of the world, the Buddha arrived at the very same truth as the Stoics. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. In other words, stop handing over your energy, your peace, and your power to things that were never yours to carry. Bring them back to where they belong, within yourself. Because when you stop trying to control the world and start mastering yourself, you discover the greatest advantage a human being can have. While everyone else is drowning in what they cannot control, you keep moving forward with confidence in what you can. And that is exactly how day after day you stop being pushed around by life and begin to lead it. Practice 3. Kill laziness before it grows. You know that voice. It never shouts. It whispers softly, convincingly, almost like a friend. I'll do it later. Just 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. And you believe it. Every single time, you believe it. But I need to tell you something that voice is hiding. It doesn't want your rest. It wants your life. Because every later you accept is another piece of your potential that you hand over without a fight. Pay attention to what's really happening. It's not that you're incapable. It's that there's an incredible strength inside you waiting to be used, and laziness knows it. That's exactly why it shows up, to convince you that your strength can wait, that you'll use it tomorrow, that today isn't the day. And the cruelest part is this. Tomorrow, it'll whisper the exact same thing. Do you feel the weight of that? You're not just losing a day. You're postponing the person you could become again and again and again until you forget that person ever existed. Epictetus, who built his inner freedom while living in chains, warned us, don't begin your day by surrendering to comfort, because your first move determines every move that follows. When you give in first thing in the morning, you haven't just lost a few minutes. You've signed a contract with yourself that says, I'm not in charge today. And the rest of your day follows the terms of that contract. You'll never overcome laziness by waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is deceptive. It shows up whenever it wants and disappears when you need it most. Those who wait to feel motivated spend their lives waiting. Strong people don't act because they feel motivated. They act, and motivation follows. That changes everything. It means you don't have to wake up inspired. You don't have to wait for the perfect day, the perfect mood, or the perfect amount of energy. You just have to move. One honest step is enough to break the spell. And look how small that first step really is. Don't think about the entire day, because that's exactly what overwhelms you. Think about the next 10 minutes. The alarm goes off, get out of bed. That's it. Then make your bed. Then make your coffee, then answer the first message, write the first paragraph, make the first phone call. Motion creates motion. Once your body starts moving, your mind follows. And if you've given in 1,000 times already, listen carefully, because this is for you. You're not weak. This isn't a character flaw. You've simply walked the easier path for too long, and it became a habit. But habits are broken the same way they're built, through repetition. The same strength that kept making you give in can become the strength that helps you win the moment you aim it in the opposite direction, because comfort always charges interest. And the interest is ruthless. Time you never get back, energy that slowly disappears, and worst of all, your confidence in yourself shrinking every time you make a promise and fail to keep it. Every time you give in, a quiet voice whispers, "See? You can't do it." And every action, no matter how small, shouts back, "I can, and I just proved it." That's what's at stake over the next few minutes. Not a task. Living proof of who you are. So be honest with yourself right now. No excuses. What are you putting off today? That very thing that just crossed your mind. Because whatever you avoid today will come back tomorrow. Heavier, more intimidating, demanding twice the price. Laziness only grows while you keep feeding it. Cut it off at the root. Not tomorrow, right now. Write this in the comments. Today, I take action. Not as an empty promise, as your first move. Because the person you'll be at the end of this day is being decided in this very minute, and that minute has already begun. There's only one question left. Are you going to obey the whisper Or are you finally going to show the strength that has been inside you all along? Practice 4. Don't be a slave to other people's opinions. Maybe you've never realized it, but a large part of the life you're living isn't really yours. It's borrowed. Borrowed from your parents' expectations, from your friends' judgments, from the opinions of people who passed through your life and never stayed. Year after year, you've been building a life designed to please everyone, except the one person who will have to live it until the very end, you. Think about who you would be if no one were watching. What clothes would you wear? What career would you have the courage to pursue? What words would you speak? Who would you love without fearing judgment? Now face the question that makes most people uncomfortable. How much of the person you are today is truly you, and how much is simply a performance for an audience that probably isn't even paying attention? This is the quiet tragedy of most people's lives. They die with their music still trapped inside them, dreams swallowed, talents hidden, entire versions of themselves sacrificed on the altar of "what will people think of me?" And the worst part is, the audience you've sacrificed so much for is far too busy living their own lives to remember you tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote in the silence of the night, "It is foolish to suffer because of the opinions of those who do not even know what is good or evil." He ruled an empire, yet he understood that the only territory truly worth mastering was the one within. If even he, with the world at his feet, needed to remind himself of that, imagine how much more the rest of us do. Because approval is a thirst that can never be quenched. You please one person and disappoint another. You reshape yourself to fit into one place, only to realize you no longer fit somewhere else. You cut away a piece here, hide another piece there, until one day you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the person staring back at you. You dimmed your own light so much to shine in other people's eyes that you forgot how to light your own. And for what? To earn the applause of people who will never live your life for you, who will never pay your bills, never carry your regrets, never lie awake in your bed on the nights when you wonder why you never had the courage to become who you truly were. The Stoics taught something remarkably simple, yet deeply powerful. There are things that are within your control and things that are not. Other people's opinions will never be within your control. You can be the sweetest fruit on the tree, and there will still be people who don't like the taste. So why would you hand over the steering wheel of your life to something you will never be able to control? Seneca left behind a truth that has echoed through the centuries. To be despised by those who have no virtue is a compliment. Many times, criticism isn't proof that you've taken the wrong path. It's proof that you've finally stepped away from the crowd. It's the noise the world makes when someone dares to be different. Understand this once and for all. You were not born to become an approved copy of everyone else. You were not born to live small, to ask for permission, or to spend your life collecting approval from people who probably don't even remember your name. You were born to live your life, fully, authentically, with your own choices and even with your own mistakes, because your own mistakes are worth far more than someone else's version of success lived only to please the crowd. Epictetus, one of history's greatest teachers of inner freedom, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Stop for a moment and let the weight of those words sink in. A man who was born into slavery understood something that many people born free never do. The strongest chains are not made of iron. They are forged by the fear of being judged. The only gaze that can truly set you free is your own, when you lie down at night knowing you are faithful to who you really are. That is true freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to no longer need anyone else's permission to be who you are. While the world keeps running after applause, you walk in peace, owning your path, and answering only to your own conscience, because in the end, the choice is yours and yours alone. Spend your entire life trying to please everyone else, or have the courage to honor your own soul. And the person who learns to focus only on what they can control discovers one of life's greatest treasures. They stop living for everyone else, and for the very first time, they truly begin to live. Practice 5. Take care of yourself before you take care of the world. There's a scene you're probably all too familiar with. The plane is about to take off, and the flight attendant repeats the instruction that almost nobody really pays attention to. In an emergency, put on your own oxygen mask first before helping anyone else. It sounds cold, it sounds selfish, but it's one of the wisest things ever said about life, because a parent who has passed out can't save their own child, and you, completely drained, can't save anyone. Maybe you grew up hearing the opposite. That you should always help, always please, always be available. That thinking about yourself is selfish. That putting your own needs first is cold-hearted. And by swallowing that idea for years, you learn to abandon yourself in silence, believing it was a virtue. But there's a truth that life teaches, often far too late. You can't hold anyone else up while you're falling apart inside. You can't light someone else's path when your own light has burned out. You can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders when you can barely carry yourself. The Stoics understood something that very few people truly grasp. Real strength is born from inner order. Trying to fix everything around you while you're in ruins inside is like trying to dry the floor while the faucet is still running. You wear yourself out, you grow frustrated, and the problem never really ends. And look what happens when you ignore that. You begin helping with resentment. You start giving, expecting something in return. You smile on the outside while quietly carrying exhaustion within. And one day that exhaustion sends you the bill. It always does, and the price is always high. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's responsibility. It's understanding that you need to be whole before you can offer something genuine, instead of giving people the leftovers of someone who simply has nothing left to give. Marcus Aurelius ruled an entire empire. Millions of lives depended on him, and even so he knew that before he could govern Rome, he had to govern his own mind. If the most powerful man in the world understood that everything began within himself, why do you keep taking care of everyone except yourself? That principle applies to every role you play. Whether you're a parent, a leader, a partner, or a professional, your inner stability determines the size of the impact you make. A cracked foundation cannot support a tall building. And you've been trying to build other people's lives on the one foundation no one has been taking care of, your own. And it begins with simple actions, almost ordinary ones, that change everything. Getting enough sleep, saying no when you need to, setting boundaries with respect, organizing your own mind before trying to organize someone else's. You don't have to be perfect to help someone, but you do need to be aware of what's happening inside you. Because when you abandon yourself to carry the world, the price shows up as exhaustion. And exhaustion doesn't build strong days. It reduces you to merely surviving, dragging yourself through life, present in body, but absent from it. Mastering your day also means protecting your own energy. It means deciding where you give of yourself and where you step back. It means choosing when to stop before you break. It means finally understanding that self-care isn't a luxury, and it isn't indulgence. It's self-respect. It's the strategy of someone who wants to go the distance. You are not responsible for everything, but you are entirely responsible for yourself. And when you choose yourself with balance, you become steadier, more present, and more clear-minded. And almost as if by magic, everything around you begins to improve, without you forcing any of it. So today, before trying to fix the world, fix what's happening within. Before giving advice, get yourself aligned. Before expecting balance from others, find your own. Before taking on one more responsibility, strengthen your own foundation. Plato said that the greatest good we can do for others is to become better people ourselves. Do you see how profound that is? Becoming better isn't about winning arguments. It isn't about proving your worth. It isn't about sacrificing yourself until you're completely exhausted in the name of a kindness no one asked for. Becoming better means becoming more aware, more grounded, more whole. Because when you take care of your mind, your decisions improve. When you protect your energy, your presence improves. When you respect yourself, you teach other people to respect you. And that changes everything. Your children feel it. The people around you notice it. Your work reflects it. Self-care isn't isolation. It isn't running away from the world. It's preparation. It's using your day to grow stronger from the inside, so that what you give to the world comes from a place of abundance, instead of from a dry well of need and exhaustion. So stop and ask yourself with the honesty you've probably been denying yourself. Am I respecting myself? Am I protecting my energy? Am I living in alignment with who I truly am? Because the day your answer becomes yes, the change won't come like magic. It will come through practice. You'll manage your time better. You'll become less reactive at home. You'll reach the end of the day with less guilt and more clarity. That doesn't build a perfect life. It builds something far rarer, a sustainable life. A life you can actually maintain without constantly living at your limit, without breaking yourself just to prove that you can handle it. Start choosing yourself today, not out of selfishness, but out of responsibility. Because the person who learns to take care of themselves becomes stronger and better able to support others. And the person who grows stronger on the inside begins transforming everything around them. That, not silent self-sacrifice, is what it truly means to master your day. Practice 6. Action is the best answer. There is a quiet distance between the person you are and the person you could become. That distance is not made of talent, luck, or resources. It is made of one thing alone, the steps you already know you need to take but keep refusing to take, and it is within that distance that most lives lose their way. How many small decisions do you put off every single day? Not the big ones, the small ones. The message you need to reply to, the 20-minute task, the phone call that would clear up a misunderstanding once and for all. You know you should do it, and yet you don't. And here is the cruelest part. What you don't do never disappears. It stays. It occupies your mind all day long. You don't do it, but you keep thinking about it. You don't solve it, but you keep carrying it. You don't act, but you quietly blame yourself for it. And little by little, the day starts to feel heavy, not because it was difficult, but because you kept piling up simple tasks that needed nothing more than movement, and you gave them hesitation instead. Understand this, because it changes everything. Most people are not stuck because they lack ability. They are stuck because they keep postponing what needs to be done. And every small delay becomes another crack in the feeling that you are in charge of your own day. Procrastination is never neutral. Every later steals another piece of your authority over your own life. Stoicism teaches something that makes people uncomfortable precisely because it is true. Overthinking is a sophisticated form of avoidance. The Stoics did not wait until they felt like doing something. They did not wait for perfect confidence to fall from the sky. They did what needed to be done, and they did it now. You do not need absolute certainty to send that email. You only need to press send. Your life begins to change the exact moment you stop organizing your thoughts and start organizing your actions, because doubt grows in the silence of inaction, anxiety feeds on paralysis, and clarity, the clarity you have been waiting for, is never born from endless reflection. It is born from taking the next step, always afterward, never beforehand. You think you will understand everything before you begin. You won't. You think you need to be ready before you act. You don't. You will never discover what you are capable of while sitting still, thinking about it. You only find out by doing. Your potential reveals itself in the middle of action, never before it. Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried the weight of an empire, wrote a sentence to himself that cuts like a knife. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stop over-planning. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it never comes. Stop turning well-crafted excuses into false strategy. Just act. How many times have you said, "When I have more time, I'll start," and that extra time never appears? Your schedule never magically clears. The perfect circumstances never come together because they do not exist. They never have. You do not start going to the gym when you finally feel motivated. You start when you lace up your sneakers. That difficult conversation does not get better by rehearsing it in your head. It gets better when you have the courage to have it. Your project does not move forward while you keep thinking about it. It moves forward when you write the first line, even if it is messy, even if it is imperfect. And while you are waiting, pay close attention to this. Life does not pause with you. It keeps moving. The days keep passing. And what you once called caution slowly turns into stagnation. If you do not act, you hand control of your day over to chance. You stop being the author of your life and become a spectator to your own routine, watching your life unfold from the other side of the glass. You know that conversation you have been avoiding for weeks? It needs to happen. You know that routine you promised yourself you would build. It starts today, not Monday, not next month. Today. You know that decision you have been putting off for months. It needs to leave your mind and enter the real world. You already know what you need to do. You always have. You are just not doing it. And here is a truth that needs to be said without sugarcoating it. You are not going to wake up one beautiful morning feeling completely confident, prepared, and motivated. That day is never coming. It is a myth your mind created to justify the delay, because the order is the opposite of what you imagine. Readiness comes after movement. Confidence comes after trying. Security comes after repetition. Those who wait until they are ready to begin spend their lives waiting, standing in the exact same place where they started. The world is full of brilliant ideas that never left the drawing board, full of plans locked away in drawers, full of intentions that died during the planning stage. And that is one of the saddest truths of all, because it does not matter how much you know. What matters is how much you execute. Knowledge without action is nothing but dead weight. Discipline without practice is an illusion. At the end of the day, what remains is you, your choices, and the ones you had the courage to turn into action. Thinking brings relief for a moment. Acting transforms your life forever. You need to act before you feel ready. You need to do the work before you understand everything. You need to take the first step, even if your legs are shaking. I'll leave you with a truth that Johann Wolfgang von Goethe expressed, and that time has never disproved. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Because those who act do not sit around waiting for life to change. They build the change while they keep moving forward. And that is exactly where it happens, in the middle of the next step, that you stop dreaming about the life you want and finally begin to take command of it. Practice 7. Believe in your own strength. Do you know one of the quietest ways to lose control of your day? By doubting yourself before you even try. Think about how many times you held back during a meeting with a great idea stuck in your throat. How many times you chose not to send that message, not to start that project, not to take that next step, all because of one thought: I'm not ready yet. It seems harmless, but it isn't. That doubt eats away at you from the inside. You stop putting yourself out there. You stop taking risks. You stop speaking up. And your entire day is lived in a reduced version of yourself, a faded version of what it could have been. And here is the trap that fools almost everyone. You tell yourself, it's just today, but it is never just today. It is today added to yesterday. It is today repeating itself tomorrow. It is the quiet accumulation of days lived only halfway. One diminished day seems small, almost insignificant. But a long series of them builds something frightening, a smaller life. And the worst part is, you do not notice it in the moment, you notice it years later. When you look back and one question tightens your chest, why didn't I go further? And the answer hurts because it was never a lack of talent. It was hesitation. It was that single moment of pulling back, repeated 1,000 times until it became a prison. That is how everyday doubt quietly turns into a lifelong limitation. Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried an empire on his shoulders, wrote a truth that has echoed through the centuries. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Pay attention to what he is saying. The power has been there, inside you, all along. The problem is that you give it away before you ever use it. You surrender your own strength and then wonder why you feel weak. So I want you to do something with complete honesty. Look back, not with nostalgia, but with attention. You have already lived through days you thought you would never survive. You have carried losses that once felt impossible to bear. You kept moving when every part of you wanted to stop. You solved problems you were certain you were not equipped to handle. You got back up after falls that left you flat on the ground. This is not motivational talk. This is the actual record of your life. It is real evidence, documented by your own experience, that you are capable of far more than your doubts want you to believe. And yet, even with all that evidence, you still hold back in the smaller moments. You hold back from sending the message that could open a door. You hold back from defending your ideas with confidence. You hold back from asking for what you deserve and know you deserve. Why? Because you let fear speak louder than reason. Because in one moment of weakness, anxiety takes the place of clarity, and you begin to see yourself through the lens of what you lack, forgetting everything you have already overcome. But understand this. The moment you accept that you are capable, you lose the right to use doubt as an excuse. You can no longer hand the steering wheel of your life over to fear. Believing in your own strength does not mean believing you are invincible. It is not arrogance. It simply means stopping the habit of acting as though you are incapable. It means recognizing that your own story has already proven your strength again and again. And that belief shows up in your actions. It is raising your hand in the meeting. It is starting the project even before it is perfect. It is having the difficult conversation you have been putting off. It is sending the proposal. It is speaking your mind without asking anyone for emotional permission. It is having the courage to earn respect no matter where you are. You do not have to feel completely confident. You simply have to be willing. Because confidence does not come before action. It is born after it. You do not wake up confident. You become confident the very moment you do the thing you have been avoiding. And when that attitude becomes a habit, something changes in a real, undeniable way. You speak with greater clarity. You make decisions with greater conviction. You waste less time comparing yourself to other people. You take up your own space without apologizing for it. You stand by your own word, and you end the day with a rare and powerful feeling, the knowledge that you did not shrink yourself. That is what mastering the day really means, refusing to let your own insecurity make your decisions for you. You do not need more validation. You do not need everyone to agree with you or to see the path that only your own intuition can see. What you need is more decisiveness, more trust in yourself, So starting today, change the question. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I can do it? Then act as if the answer is already yes. Because the moment you choose to act despite your fear, something greater begins to take shape inside you. That is mastery, not over the world, over something far more difficult and far more valuable, yourself. Your word begins to matter more than your fear. Your goals become more important than your insecurity. You stop waking up waiting for motivation and start waking up with a decision already made. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances and start adjusting your own actions instead. And then the most important thing happens. You end each day with respect for yourself. Because in the end, it is not about conquering everything. It is about not betraying yourself. And when you stop betraying yourself, people notice your consistency. Opportunities begin to appear because you are in motion, and you begin to trust yourself simply because you keep your promises to yourself. It is not that life suddenly became easier, it is that you became stronger, and strength creates direction. Ralph Waldo Emerson left behind a sentence that should echo in your mind every time doubt tries to hold you back. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. All the strength you have spent your life searching for out there, in approval, in certainty, in the perfect moment, has always been inside you, waiting for you to believe in it. Your day truly belongs to you only when your actions prove it. In the end, power is not something you feel. It is something you choose to do in the next few hours. And those hours, starting now, have already begun. At Stoic House, the wisdom of the ancients becomes strength for your life today. If this message resonated with you, leave a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to join us.